time to shoot ropes and smoke dope. And I'm all out of dope. Nah, that's what I would do had I not been in a room full of dudes this past weekend. So my ropes were not shot. Not indeed. Not when I'm not by myself to be shooting them. And also, however many hundreds of miles away from my girlfriend. Welcome to the Double D Experience. The context of that clip is I, Nintoonist, typically known as David around these parts, but a lot of you gamers, most people down in Florida know me as Nintoonist. I was down in Florida this weekend. I was in a...
You met Charlie, guys. You met Moist Critical.
I did not meet Charlie. He's in Tampa.
He actually shook his hand and spit on him.
I would have to reach really
Told
low.
him that he's a fucking piece of shit.
I mean, spitting on him would be really easy because of how much shorter he is, but also shaking his hand would be also kind of easy at the same time. No, he lives in Tampa, bro. Like, I was nowhere near that. I was in, like, Kissimmee, however you pronounce it.
He's lying, guys. He's just being modest. I'm not. Charlie just told him he's under an NDA, so he can't disclose what happened. It's a shame, but, you know.
Why would I be under an NDA to meet Charles White?
Because he is a great man.
He is a great man. But why would a great man force me to sign a non-disclosure agreement just for meeting him? The only thing that I feel like he would unironically make me sign an NDA to do is I'm not allowed to talk about his height. It's probably what he would make me do.
You know, it's so weird because, like, I've met people who I've known on social media and then, like, I've seen them in real life. And I actually have gotten, like, not, like, visibly shocked, but, like, internally, I was just kind of like, it's like, wow.
That was me. Do you remember?
Pretty short.
That was me, Dennis. Do you remember Cherry when we interviewed him on the show? The NASB TO.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I met him at Platfight.
Oh, shit.
He is exceptionally small. And so I completely understand.
Like for you, or?
No, like he's like 5'5" shorter, something like that. It was really like he was like Charles. He was Charles height. He was Charlie height. Maybe even shorter, because I don't know how tall Charlie. I think Charlie's 5'7". I think Charlie was taller than him.
Okay, no.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. So, meeting him, he's the bread and butter of the NASB scene. And if you're wondering what I mean by all that, where I was down at Platfight. I did not meet Charlie. He lives in a totally different spot of Florida. In Kissimmee, I was there for the inaugural Platfight Championships. Basically, it was one of those, like, sort of Smash Major type places, like a convention where they have a Smash tournament and they have the vendors and they have all this stuff at the hotel, blah, blah, blah. But this one was not just Smash. In fact, Smash Brothers was not the main event. It was actually, the main event was Rivals of Aether 2, which is the latest and greatest Platfighter to drop the market. And there were all the other Platfighter games there, Dennis. Basically, it was a Smash Ultimate tournament, there was a Melee tournament, there was a Rivals of Aether 2 tournament, there was a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 tournament, Brawlhalla, Multiverses. Those were the 6 main events, including pop-up brackets to happen every now and again. Basically, what these people are trying to do with the first ever Platfight tournament, they're trying to make an EVO for platform fighters, is basically what they're trying to do. And I gotta say, while being down there, I really felt that vibe. Because even I got caught trying Rivals 2, and I swore I was never going to touch that game, because it was just there. And like Cherry said, like, you want to introduce people to NASB or other games, you just got to put it there in places where they'd otherwise would not normally have it. Put it there at a Smash tournament, people will be like, oh, what's this? Let's try it. And they'll just fucking do it. And I got to say, I felt the magic. After a while, I felt the magic just being around there and seeing what they were trying to do in this really sick community-led effort. Everything ran on time, the tournaments were smooth, the amenities were great. Like, it was, as far as majors went, I have very, very little to complain about besides stuff in the personal department. So, I guess to go off about my experience at the inaugural Platfight tournaments, I went there, right? Because I'm one of the best NASB 2 players in the world, if you didn't know. I'll pull up the current PR. You see that Nintoonist guy, number 8th, with a picture of that toxic bitch next to his name? The one with the guitar who wants people to like her so much that she brainwashed everybody to like her music just so they'll chant her name. That one.
For a second, I got kind of lost. I was like, wait, who the fuck? Oh.
You know what I'm talking about. Talking about Ember McLame. And
why McLame? Ain't you like,
she's broken.
Did that new patch help?
It helped. It definitely helped a little bit, but I also just got better at the game, so whatever. Anyway, I wanted to go there because it was the first ever Platfight tournament. I thought it would be a lot of fun to do, but I hesitated a lot. I have never flown by myself, and I was very scared to do that. And on top of that, I waited till the last minute for everything. So the flights were absurdly expensive. The late registration for the tournament was expensive. Right, if there's one thing I will complain about Platfight, it's when it is right before Christmas. It's gonna make those flight prices just jack up real hard. That's my one complaint, I guess. Well, actually, I have other complaints, but we'll talk about those later. Those are more personal ones. I was really having an internal crisis for weeks, talking about it with my girlfriend and my mom and my dad, just having real big analysis paralysis, to the point where my mom was telling me to shut the fuck up whenever I brought it up. And eventually, I missed the late registration and the tournament registration was closed. And I felt the FOMO really bad. FOMO that I haven't felt for something like a Smash tournament in God knows how long. So, FOMO that I got over, to be honest. Like, the FOMO that these tournaments thrive on and pretty much market their tournaments to get people to go to them. I normally don't give a fuck. This one I did because it was the most stacked offline NASB 2 bracket ever. A lot of the top 10 players were going. A lot of the top talent was going, and I knew I belonged down there as one of the best players in the world for the game. So when I missed that registration, I regretted it and I felt the FOMO. Then they opened up ultra late registration because some people apparently missed it. And I still had analysis paralysis about even going because the flights were like $600 at that point. And eventually, in the last 5 minutes of the tournament registration, I said fuck it, and I did it. And the main reason I did it is because my parents offered to pay for half of it as like a Christmas present to me. So I honestly privileged my way into it regardless, because I would have been spending a band to go down there pretty much. And I had a $4,000 credit card bill the month before, so I knew this shit wasn't worth it. I also have a fucking girlfriend, and that shit is expensive. So like, all sorts of manners of reasons. Oh, and my eye surgery too. Like, I've been spending money like a mother recently, and I just went Christmas shopping today. Like, it's bad. But I said, fuck it, I'm gonna regret missing this. And I flew down there, and it wasn't bad. I've flown before, and I told myself, no matter what happens, no matter how I do in the bracket, no matter what happens to me in regards of commentary or whatever, because I commentate tournaments as well, if I miss this again, when I was given an ex machina by having registration open up again, that's like me spitting in God's face. You know how, like, terminally online horny people, when a porn star reduces her titties, they say, oh, why are you ruining what God gave you, your perfect gift? And I'm like,
why do they always bring God into it? When
that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like her tits are
I don't
God's.
Understand, man.
Yeah, because her tits are God's gift to you. She hates them. And it's her, and she's the one who has to fucking carry them around. So, like, but you see, like, that would be me spitting in God's face, actually, instead of, Cody Vore when she got her titties reduced, like spitting in God's face. You know
Dave,
what I mean?
Wasn't there a certain someone, who also told you in confidence that, hey, I think you should go?
No.
I think it'll be a grand old time, circumstances notwithstanding.
That didn't happen. No one told me that. I figured it out on my own. I don't have like a friend, or I don't have like a best friend to confide in who like tells me these things. And
guys, this guy was straight up just like in a fucking crisis because he was just like, "Oh, should I go, Dennis?
It was Dennis.
Should I go to the big platform fighter tournament and go to Florida and see Charlie? Should I go or not? I don't know. I don't know." I'm David, I don't know. I'm host for a podcast, but I don't know.
Listen. Dennis.
What?
I was in a really bad place. And
bro,
guess
we
what?
all in a bad place, man.
Listen, and guess what?
Mr. Luigi in a bad place, too. He's in a really bad place.
Guess what? I didn't want to be in a worse place. Florida.
Did you top?
Did I top?
Did you top?
What are you talking about? What do
Tell
you
me
mean
now, did you top?
What are you talking about? What do you mean did I top?
Did you top?
What the fuck does that mean?
Did you top the event?
No, I actually didn't, and I'll get into
How
that.
How shy were you?
I was one off from top 8.
Fuck that guy. Who the fuck was what was it, top 64? Like, what was the tops?
I got 9th.
Out of how many people?
Like 30.
How many rounds each?
What do you mean how many rounds each?
You guys don't play out like best 2 out of 3 or something?
No, we play best 2 out of 3 or best 3 out of 5. This event was
just in terms of stocks, right? It's like 3 stocks each.
You fucking dirty
fucking
ass.
Answer the question.
You're a fucking dirty ass smelly card player. It doesn't work by rounds of Swiss.
Okay, then explain, fucko.
I've done it like 5,000 times. I've explained this shit to you. It's double bracketed. Everyone starts in the winner's bracket. You lose, you get sent down to the loser's bracket. You lose in the loser's bracket, you're out.
Okay.
I got 9th because I lost to both.
I don't even care. That's still top 10 for my boy. I don't give a shit.
Top 8 is the prestige.
Top 8 is the bro. I don't give a
Top 8 is the prestige in platform fighter events. Will you stop cutting?
David is my GOAT. Let that be known. Because he plays a game that I do not have the time or patience for. He's a winner in my book every day.
Okay. Thank you, Dennis. Maybe I won't
burn your too.
Maybe I won't burn your present after all. After that,
you ain't burning shit. Shut up.
Anyway, I went
Can't
down
wait for
there
Sonic 3.
Anyway, when I went down there,
why are you so mad? Why are you mad, bro? Because you got 9th, you little piece of shit.
Oh my god.
No, but I actually do mean it.
I want you to die.
David is a very hardworking man. This man juggles a real job, a podcast, and also playing a platform fighter competitively.
You can't just take out all the vitriol and then just start buttering me up like a biscuit and expect
I will.
instant forgiveness.
And I am right now.
I'm Italian, motherfucker.
Now,
I don't fucking forgive people for this fucking shit.
Yeah,
Guess what, asshole?
Kill each other because of vendettas.
When I'm done fucking shooting the ropes, I'm gonna bring a rope to you and I'm gonna tell you to fucking hang yourself from it. How does that sound, Dennis?
This man is a very hard worker, guys. See, he has a job. He plays this video game competitively. He went shopping today. He was just a very, very good son to his parents. This guy is also going to be working so hard that he's going to literally tie a rope around me and kill me with it. It's very hard. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Going back to Platfight, I already mentioned how taking it was a huge leap for me. Right? Like, I told myself no matter what happens, no matter how I place, no matter what happens to me in the commentary department, I'm doing something that scares me.
Yes.
And that means I win. And I did. The flight was great. We took off. We landed. It was real easy. I played Mario RPG. I finished Mario RPG on the plane ride there, and I cried.
It took him 2 years, guys.
It hasn't even been out for 2 years. Fuck
Feels
you,
like
Dennis.
2 years.
But yeah, I finished it. Cried my eyes out at the credits. Made me feel all sorts of feelings and emotions on the plane.
You were on the plane crying?
A little bit. I just teared up. Dude, when the credits roll and it's the credits roll and it's the credits from the original game, I was like, no. I was like, no. Now I'm doing all the side quests, but anyway. Yeah, my Platfight experience, I guess to talk about, it's funny enough, I say, like, no matter what happens, I win because I did something that scares me, and it's true. But I got cucked a lot at this event, and I'll explain why that is. I got 9th in the bracket, as I may have mentioned before, which is 1 away from the prestigious top 8. This isn't, these freaky deaky, like smells like beaky, trading card land where it's not rounds of Swiss or anything like that, and we don't smell that bad. We smell, just not like Yu-Gi-Oh players. I'll die on that hill. They are definitely worse. We never had to institute a rule, just saying. And
y'all still do smell though.
Not like Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Still smell.
Yeah, not like Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Still smell.
Yeah, not like Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Still smell.
It's just the rest of the podcast. Yeah, not like Yu-Gi-Oh players. Still smell. Not like Yu-Gi-Oh players. Still smell. For 15
Us
minutes.
both dying on our retarded ass hills.
In the nursing home. Not like Yu-Gi-Oh players. Still smell. Anyway, I got 9th in the bracket. I lost to the 2 best Squidward players in the world. I hate that bald prick. The character is very good, and I don't know what to do about him as Ember. I'll figure it out eventually. But it hurt the most, right? Because here's what happened, right? A lot of people know me as a commentator, right? I don't commentate much Smash Ultimate anymore. I do when they need me, but I still don't really like that game that much, and it's not something I care to spend as much of my time on anymore, or like, just live for the grind. Like, yeah, I'm flying out to events, I want to be a Smash caster, blah, blah. Like, no. I know what that world is, I know what it's like, and I'm not going to pretend I like the game more than the people who actually want to do that job on a regular basis, so. But Nazby 2, as you know, I fell in love with so much to the point where I became a top player for the game. That's how you know the game sucks, when it's like Nintoonist can become a top player for it. And, so, what happened was, I was reached out to by the commentary manager of the event months prior to the event, or weeks prior to the event, because they wanted me to do the top 8 for it. I did too, but the problem... Max Ketchum, who's a very popular Smash caster, said this when he went on the Tweak Talks podcast. Being a good player for a game and a commentator for it fucking sucks. It sucks. Because here's the thing, they wanted me to do the top 8. I told them, hire me at your discretion, because there's a very real chance I make top 8. And when that happens, I can't commentate because I have to play in it. It becomes a conflict of interest for the event. This is the first ever Platfight tournament. They're trying to make this shit the platform fighter, they're trying to make this shit like the platform fighter Evo, basically. Me having my cake and eating it too is not as important as the integrity of the event. So they did the right thing, and they did not hire me. They had another guy who was, I think, on the beta team for the first game or something, or he was involved in the production in some way, and he was getting into commentating for the Nazby Arcadians. They got him to do top 8 with a caster named Blackamar, who's like the main caster for Nazby, right? So they wound up doing top 8, right? The commentary manager finds me when I get there on Friday, right? I'm just sitting there playing Nazby. We're having a great time. We're talking about how it's unfortunate that I didn't get to cast, but that they still wanted me to commentate, right? So, what he says is that if you don't make top 8, let's do a tri-cast, and we'll put you on with both of them. And I'm like, yo, that sounds great. That'd be perfect. So then I could have my cake and eat it too. Come the next day, I get 9th in the bracket. Very sad. I don't get to do the top 8. Which sucks, but it didn't bother me that much, because I get to commentate, right? I find the commentary manager, right? And he tells me that, unfortunately, the XLR ports, or the microphones that they were using for the TriCast yesterday, blew out. When they were doing their dress rehearsal, or the tech rehearsals for the event in the morning on Saturday, they just couldn't get the mics working. They could only get 2 working all of a sudden. So, yeah, so unfortunately I couldn't do it. He told me if I want to cast, go to the guy who replaced you and ask if he wants to split the block. He did not want to split the block. And I was upset about that, and I felt pretty betrayed at first, but I realized he's very qualified to talk about it. And the fact of the matter is, he'd been locked in all day, he'd been commentating. If the event doesn't suffer, that's all that matters. While I'm upset that I feel like he couldn't give me just a few blocks, I feel like it's normally customary for like people to split blocks sometimes, but I'm not owed that. I'm not entitled to it. And like I said, what I want necessarily doesn't matter. The fact is the event didn't suffer, and the game, a niche Discord fighter, which was given main stage at a major event, something which is a huge reason I wanted to come down there as one of the best players in the world for it. The fact that that game was represented in a good light on the main stage was way more important than me just being able to have my cake and eat it too. But you see what I'm saying? It turned from a win-win into a lose-lose. I thought I was going to have my cake and eat it too, and then the cake was just fucking thrown in my face instead from a distance away. Because now, not only did I not get top 8, like I thought I was originally going to potentially do, I not got top 8, and I didn't get to commentate. Which sucked.
David, but the experience. Aren't you glad you went?
I am, yes. It was a lot of fun getting to meet a lot of the Nazby peeps in real life, getting to see the ones that I saw while I was up in Canada, and getting to play the game that I love, like at an offline event like that. I also got to experience Rivals 2 for a bit, which I swore I was never going to try because I promised y'all that I was not going to let another platform fighter ruin my life. And, but I did Rivals of Ether 2.
Oh,
not Marvel.
I was going to say, like, there's a
no. Didn't they just drop?
They just came out with it.
Did it really do that bad? No.
Was it that bad? Like, it wasn't that terrible. No. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah. So, what really hurt too, right? What added insult to injury? This event did something called the Breakfast of Champions, right? On Sunday, on Championship Sunday for the 3 main events in the Smash Brothers games and Rivals of Ether 2, the morning of, they did a breakfast fully catered by the hotel staff. We're talking eggs, we're talking hash browns, we're talking really dope sausages, toast and everything. A free breakfast if you made top 8 in your game. You know what it felt like to be one set away?
You know,
from
if I was
breakfast.
Like 10,
you ever have a dream about the girl you really like?
Yeah.
And you're having a great time, you're kissing, it's romantic, it gets a little frisky, you're balls deep inside of her all of a sudden and having the most passionate, hot, and romantic sex with the girl of your dreams, and then you fucking wake up. That's how this shit felt. It was like I was getting kicked in the balls after somebody promised to put their mouth on them instead.
That really sucks, man. I'm sorry. Oh.
It's okay. Because I clouded my way into it.
What?
Cherry, the TO of the NASB event, who we interviewed on the podcast, like I mentioned earlier, he couldn't be there for the NASB bracket because he had to go to a wedding.
Okay.
He had VIP passes and he gave me one. So I went in real late in the morning. I scraped off the bottom of the eggs that weren't there anymore that the actual top 8 players got to have instead. And I chomped on them sausages and then went to my flight. And then, after I was done scraping the edge of the pan to just get any semblance of egg that I could, like a dog getting the fucking scraps from an owner, that is when the staff came and refilled the eggs. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. How many times did one man get cooked for this weekend for the event? And the casters felt bad, too, that we couldn't make a TriCast happen. That would have been perfect, but next time. I'll see y'all at the next big NASB event, assuming I can make it out to that.
You heard this here, folks. Next year is going to be what? What do you say? The
return.
The return. The fucking, the run back. It's our boys run back next year.
I'm definitely going back to Platfight. The event was great. Y'all should support it, because I definitely want it to grow to be something great. Like these kind of events where other plat fighters are represented, because there's a stigma, Dennis, against other platform fighters that they're all just still Smash clones. At this point, with how many new ones there are,
I wanted to say, like, what do you feel about that?
At this point, it's its own genre. Because much like how Nintendo has sort of invented other genres, basically, they invented what is now known as the modern 3D platformer for the most part. It was something a lot of people were coming up with on their own, but they did it best in Mario 64 at a time where it was revolutionary, and that game is still beloved the way it is for a reason. Nintendo's amazing at accidentally, or not even accidentally, they're good at accidentally creating genres by creating gold the way they know how. Super Smash Bros. Melee. We all know that game is like the one that people play in tournament most, the most technical of the series, the one that's the most difficult, the one that's the most entertaining to watch, the one that is, was an accident, basically, because they didn't want it to be fucking competitive, and that's why they made Brawl, and then made Brawl very slow and casual and whatever. And that's the history of Smash Brothers, how they sort of, like, tried to intertwine the two, but not going off on that. Basically, there's a stigma, right, against a lot of other platform fighters, right, that a lot of them are just either trying to be Smash, or this game is never going to take off like Smash did, and that means it's bad, blah, 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 because, indie devs or, other devs aren't the size of fucking Nintendo and have that kind of money behind making it the way it is. Let's go with that. Basically, there's a stigma against those, right? And it sucks, because it means other people aren't willing to give those games a try. even in other games like Nasby, which we thought was going to do really well because of, fucking the fact that it has a bunch of characters from Nickelodeon worlds, Multiverses, of course, which has the opportunity to take games from even more IPs. They just added Marceline from, Adventure Time and stuff.
Terrible.
But the game's it's getting better. They're taking I will give that game credit where credit is due. No, listen, will give it credit where credit is due. They are taking feedback a lot. And they're slowly making it better. Like, they just added shields because it tried to be another platform fighter that didn't have shields. They all try to, like, not have shields, and then they add shields. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, basically. So, basically what I'm saying is there's a stigma against that. Nasby won when that game was announced. Everyone was joking about it being the Smash killer, and then when it inevitably and couldn't possibly live up to that ridiculous standard, people said the game is dead. Oh, look at Nasby 2's numbers on Steam. The game is dead, quote unquote. It's not. When you have any amount of people...
Who was saying this stuff? Like Smash players?
Yeah, just internet dwellers. Like troglodytes.
Fucking losers.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
yeah.
So, I went on this vent when we had Cherry on the podcast, right? How fucking... A game is only dead when literally no one is playing it. And going by the Steam numbers doesn't make that. The Nasby 2 Discord is huge. We have big events for it. We organize tournaments for it. We all got together. All these guys went with me to all the shitty Disney bootleg stores that they have down in Florida, down by Orlando and Kissimmee, to try to find a Tangled present for my girlfriend. We all had, for her birthday coming up, we all had fun doing that.
Did you find it, or...?
No. Because none of the stores had Tangled shit. Instead, all we did was find a bunch of shitty bootleg, like, video game characters. We found a Shadow the Hedgehog that was, like, blue and white. I gotta get them to send me the photos. If so, I'll put them on screen. That's what I was saying before about, God, I wish they sent me those photos, because I gotta find those. They were funny as hell. You know, like those ghetto-ass, like, bootleg Mario and Luigi things you got me from Korea? Which, like, the Luigi had, like, the Luigi with the M on it. Yeah, they're in my car.
Okay.
With the green M, like, with Mario's mustache.
Yeah.
Just, like, clearly repainted Mario. That's what they were selling at these, like, bootleg stores.
Guys, they were official Nintendo product, I swear. Totally not ripped off and bootlegged.
That sense
Only
of
made in Korea. Best Korea. Number one Korea.
The best Korea.
It's the best Korea. Who makes the best Mario products? No one makes Mario products like Korea. No one also makes planned obsolescence phones like Korea, okay? No one makes phones like Samsung, alright? Let me tell you about Samsung. They are the best. Yeah, that was just Trump dying. Okay.
And 6 months when the McDonald's heart attack kicks in.
Yo, but man, someone his age, this shit'll catch up to him. It's gonna catch up to him.
That would be a timeline. As long as men die, liberty shall never perish. A lot of Trump stuff down there too, as you can imagine.
Oh, did you see
actually
like
not as much
shit?
Actually, not as much as you'd think. Actually, now that you mention it, because we were in tourist fucking Florida, where like all the Disney bootleg stores are at, where it's near Disney.
And we also know how much Disney loves Trump and stuff. So
we're right next to Disney World, and like so they have all the shitty Disney bootleg stores near there because they're like, yo, I'm gonna set up shop. I'm gonna make some money for these tourists. You know how it is. Anyway, that sense of community was there. When they came with me to do that, after we like went to dinner, we were just all walking around having fun. Even if it was only the 8 of us like who were going to the stores, that's enough to make a game not dead. It's the same thing as saying, oh, my YouTube video only got 100 views. Have you ever been in a room with 100 people? Imagine 100 people line up and they're just all there to hear what you say. That's scary. That's a lot of people. But on the internet, it's not a lot of people because the number isn't big enough. There's these stigmas, and Twitter. It's another reason I hate Twitter, because this stigma exists because of fucking Twitter against the platform fighters. When a lot of the new ones do competitive shit better than Smash Brothers does, considering those games were not designed to be competitive necessarily. They tried more with Smash 4 and Ultimate, and they got to like a decent stage, but there's a lot of very valid complaints people have about those games. And a lot of them don't fit into the modern, like, sphere of like intense platform fighters, which a lot of the new ones are trying to do, like Brawlhalla, Nasby 2, Rivals 2, all these games, right? And just because it's not Smash, that means it's dead? What kind of closed-minded ass shit is that? And this event, Dennis, existed as a fuck you to that stigma. And that is why I had to be down there. That is why I felt that fucking FOMO. When I'm like, I'm one of the best players in the world at this game. This is the biggest offline event we've had for it. I have to fucking be there. And it killed me that I didn't make top 8. It lit such a fire under my butthole. Then to fucking grind that game even more. Learn the fucking Squidward matchup, because that's why I didn't get top 8. I lost to both of the Squidwards. And they both got 7th. Ugh. Fucking hell. I guess in conclusion, I know what I said. I know I said no matter what happens to me at this event, I won because I did something that scares me, and that is very much true. I bothered the shit out of my girlfriend, Dennis, my parents, and especially myself being on the fence about this. Unfortunately, I was able to privilege myself enough with my half of my parents' money paying for half of this thing as a Christmas present. It's not something everybody has, and I won't wait till the last minute next time so everything doesn't cost as much, but as someone who doesn't do the things that he says he loves, writing, voice acting, all the things that I know I could be great and do great things at, I didn't want to not do one thing that's like that. I didn't want to not do something out of fear. That's why I said no matter what happens, I need to go on this trip. It's very important to my personal growth, and that's why I'm talking about it now. It's why I'm going to do a write-up about it, because what it really helped me realize more than anything else is that, you know, I'm a late bloomer, and I know that. I'm really growing into myself a lot more, both in terms of, like, my social skills, my work life, blah, 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 my motivation, or not my motivation, but just my discipline. I'm trying to get better at it because I know I had a really bad year in terms of that shit. Mr. Motivation, you call yourself, because I know you suffer from that same problem as I do sometimes. And what this event taught me is that it's okay to go at your own pace. Everybody says that, but I never really comprehended it because I thought, my pace sucks, or that's not true. You have to go in the rat race. That's why I hate esports. That's why I got out of Smash commentary. It's such a grind and hustle culture. No. These people are, you know, realer than I thought they were, and they know me, and they're cool with me doing my thing. But in conclusion, because I'm starting to ramble, what I learned is it's okay. It really is okay to go at your own pace. As long as you realize when you're still going. And when you're not going anymore. And I didn't want to stop going. So that's what Platfight meant to me. It was a reminder to keep going, and that going at my own pace, my own slow, autistic, you know, very late bloomery pace is okay. Because you'll get to where you want to be and where you need to be in due time. There's not something inherently wrong with you that makes it so you can't be successful, you know? We're not going to go into what success is defined as or whatever, but...
Yeah, we're running out of time here.
Yeah, it's the first time I flew by myself. I'm 28. You know, I'd never gone to an event like this by myself far away like this. I did something that scares me to do it, and while I didn't get what I wanted, I didn't get top 8, I didn't get to commentate, it doesn't mean it was a waste. Because I still made progress by doing something that scared me, you know what I mean? That's why I say, go at your own pace, it's fine. You gotta take the little victories, because I still made progress with myself. And that's how I still won Platfight. We hope you all enjoyed. We're gonna leave you with that lovely note of whimsicality. Beautiful. Thank you for not cutting me off there, Dennis, and then
no, my boy's on a roll.
Talking about the Hateful Eight and Wicked for fucking 20 minutes.
Just like how he's going to be on a roll next year, guys. The run back is coming.
Dude, I'm so fucking mad.
This motherfucker's going to be on the grind, Nasby folks, all right?
Dude.
This guy's going to be the greatest Ember Lane in the universe.
I already am the greatest Ember Lane in the universe. I already play that game too much, but I'm going to play it more because I fucking... Oh, I wanted to be on that stage. They did introductions for everybody, too. They had their photos taken and everything. I've dreamed of having that happen to me, and I was fucking 2 games away. It's the nature of competition, baby. It really is.
You better watch out.
You better watch out. I might get 13th next year.
If anything, what I'm hoping for next year, more players at the event, but at the same time, I'd also love my boy to be top 8.
I'll try my best. Dude, people were gassing me up for it. I actually placed my seed. I was seeded to get 9th. It was a fucking stacked ass event. It was a stacked... No. It was a stacked ass fucking event. Like, more than half the top 10 was there. And among many other players who were like also either honorable mentions or who were on the previous PR, which had 50 players instead of 10. So, yeah. Shit, I just realized, I mean, if I didn't go to this event, and there's still an actual pretty reasonable chance, considering how good other players like PugX have been doing, there's a very reasonable chance I might not be ranked this season. And that's crazy to think about.
Ooh.
I'm probably still going to be like 9th or 10th or something, but whatever, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoyed both me and Dennis doing things that scare us, both me in terms of traveling by myself to Florida to do something I wanted to do, and him go seeing a movie with toxic ass bitches and greeners. You can check us out right here on the Double D Experience, youtube.com/Nintoonist. Like, comment, subscribe, really helps us out. Give us a 5-star review on Spotify, helps out with our search engine optimization quite a bit. It takes 2 clicks on your mobile device. You don't even write a review because you can't write a review on Spotify. It helps us out a lot. Even though we know most people listen on YouTube. And if you still listen on Apple Podcasts, you can go ahead and check us out there as well. We love y'all. Thank you for listening to our spiel. I'll cut this episode up to try to make it a little more coherent. We love y'all. Kisses. Mwah.
Y'all go and defy gravity. It's the only song I remember because it was pretty fire.
Defying gravity. I don't know the words, but I'm defying gravity.
That's what David was saying when his Ember got knocked out of the stage.
Through the tears.
That's one lone tear.
Now no one will remember my Ember. Now no one will remember my Ember. Fuck that. Oh, no. Fuck.
Bye, guys.
I was so close.